Straw Hut Media.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Genuinely GG. I am here with my girl, Ursula. Ursula is sitting in right now, just keeping Anita's seat nice and warm and toasty. And Anita is joining us via satellite. Is that what you kids call it these days? Via internet, via satellite from another state because she's on location working because she is an amazing event planner. Hey, Anita, how are you? Where are you?
Good. I am in sunny Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Penn Valley to be exact. Yeah, got a huge wedding coming up tomorrow, so
wow. Those are stressful, right? Stressful. Like I can't imagine, especially weddings. I feel like so many women are bridezillas, and my God, like you and I have such a cool rhythm. I think when we have parties together. Everyone just saw the episode of Elijah's welcoming party. Anita did the party planning for that. And it was amazing because we went through so many issues to get that party up because of COVID, because COVID was at its like peak intensity. We were getting tested 3 times a week in order to film. Everyone around us had to get tested. It was just insane. And so we lost events. We lost locations, right? We were losing venues. It was just to have food. You can't just have food at one of these parties. What's it like? Do you remember specifically how it was like for the food?
For the party?
Yeah, because of COVID, it was just so hard.
It was so hard because you had to have everyone had to be in shields or whatever, and you couldn't do buffet anymore because you can't be served. You can't serve yourself because then you're going to contaminate the food. And then, so we had to have the tray pass, but it had to be all individual. So it was just so many different little things it was crazy. And then now it's I'm here doing this event and no one's wearing masks anymore. And everyone's it's what a whole nother degree of it's crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, you should do what Ursula is doing. She's over there hanging on to her bong. She knows what's good. She's just chilling.
Bong. That's so funny.
Yeah, she's holding her bong. She's matching. She's coordinated. It kind of reflects off of her knife. Her knife is a bit tarnished. Did you brush
her? Her hair looks nice. Did you just do her hair?
I did. I fixed her hair. You noticed? It's her first time on TV. She's never been on the podcast. Genuinely, GG. I fixed her hair a little bit.
Oh, you look good.
Yeah, you like it?
Looks
okay.
Good.
Hey, girl.
She looks good.
She does. I remember during COVID, I put a mask on Ursula for a while, just so, we don't want her to get sick, God forbid. I don't want anything, poor Ursula. She's such a cutie. Yeah. All right. Oh my God. Honestly, the word on the motherfucking street is...
The word on the motherfucking street is you. What the fuck? I leave you for 2 days. And you are the word on everyone's street. Does that even make sense? You're the word on everyone's street. What the fuck is going on? What is going on with you? What's going on with Kelly Dodd? What the hell is happening? Seriously, I leave you 2 days and this is going on. That is the word on the street.
I'm looking dead at all of my people out there, and I'm wondering if y'all know what the fuck she's talking about right now, because I'm having a hard... What are you talking about, Anita? What are we talking about?
We're talking about Gigi is the word on the street. There's no other word on the street right now other than you and Kelly Dodd is what I'm trying to say.
I was waiting for this. This from you.
So sorry to be all over the place, and I think there's a little delayed reaction. So it's kind of but
I was about to pull that knife out of Ursula's hand and this real one over here because I was getting scared of you through this via satellite.
Was I aggressive? Aggressive. No, because it's I feel it's the point of I need to be there and I need to be in your world right now. And I'm all the way 3,000-4,000 miles away from you. And I'm just trying to keep up with you and what's going on with you and this whole Kelly and just everything. It's a lot. So I'm ready to jump in. And
it's been crazy. It's been a crazy few days. I think that it seriously turned into a bigger situation than it should have. She proved her true colors. Mm-hmm. I think that's all I should genuinely say. She was very evil, and I felt I felt like an attack on my name, and that means that's my culture. Because if you're going to purposely mispronounce my name, um, that's attack on my culture. And I don't know. I have nothing but love for Miss Kelly Dodd. I have invited her a few times to join me at the Karma Cafe. We do have daily specials of humble pie, and there's other pies. I love pie, so
You do
maybe
love pie.
maybe she needs a doobie and a pie. Maybe that's what's wrong with this woman. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, I would be miserable if I was getting Fox News dick, but I mean, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. But the real word on the street is something way better, way cooler, way more worth talking about, and that is the president has now signed the bill into action, and Juneteenth is now a federal holiday. And that is a huge, huge thing, bigger than me, Kelly Dodd. It's actually the epitome of everything she is not, if anything. But thank you to all the people out there who have worked their asses off for many, 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 many decades to make something like this even possible. Because Anita, you and I were Persian. We are a minority, and you came from a very smaller minority, being Ohio and being Persian, than LA, because Persians are all in LA. But it's just so cool to see the African American Black community doing this, because it literally shows us the way. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's like knowing your history. They say you're bound to not make the same mistakes. Knowing my history, I'm bound to perfect the lessons that have been laid before me. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome. Congratulations to everybody out there that Juneteenth is for you, about you. I feel like it's for me too, but I'm not trying to rob it from anyone, but God bless all of you guys. I'm just so happy for everybody. So it's great, because it's Juneteenth and it's still Pride. And our next guest is all of that combined. So let's go into introducing him.
You know her from Shaws of Sunset. You know she doesn't hold back.
A federal fucking holiday. Happy Juneteenth,
Yes!
sir. Happy Juneteenth.
Finally, bitch. And like I told NBC, if y'all think I'm coming to work on Monday, y'all got a whole nother thing coming to you, okay?
Well, my next guest has two things in common with a magnolia flower. They are extremely attractive and sweet, and they are both from Louisiana. After graduating from university, he made his way from Louisiana, LA to Los Angeles, LA, where he would become an assistant to Kyle Richards from the Housewives of Beverly Hills. After landing the lead role in ABC's show, Beverly Hills Nannies, he soon grabbed the attention of people who would help him take him to his next steps. He is a writer, a producer, and definitely one of my favorite hosts. From his hit podcast, Just a Sip, to his very popular role as the host of E-Daily Pop. I love this man so much. I literally asked him to be my sperm donor. Please give a genuinely GG welcome to Justin Sylvester.
Oh, I am going to pre-hire you for my funeral, because I know my bitch ass is not going to last very long.
I do eulogies.
That was the nicest intro anyone has ever given my black ass in the 34 years I have been living on this earth.
I love you. Thank you for being here, Justin. This is my co-host Anita on the TV screen, and Ursula is over here sitting in her place.
Taking
Since
my place.
Anita's on a work event situation, but she is here with us in Pennsylvania, right?
Sunny Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Penn Valley.
Oh my
yes.
God.
All the
Your
way.
setup.
Yeah.
Your setup is bomb. I love the studio. This is
Like it?
chic.
Do
Yes.
you like it, Justin?
It
I
really
miss
is
our
nice.
studio.
Oh,
It
I
looks-
love you for
honestly,
saying
from this
that.
perspective, Gigi, like I love our freaking studio. We fucking
Oh my
did
God.
an amazing job. Like I'm looking
Oh my
now from the
God.
outside looking in. Sorry, Justin. I
No
love our
go.
studio. It is like freaking amazing, man. Yeah.
Well, in the spirit of happiness, Justin, let me first and foremost congratulate you for the president signing the bill and making it a federal fucking holiday. Happy Juneteenth, sir. Happy Juneteenth.
Finally, bitch. And like I told NBC, if y'all think I'm coming to work on Monday, y'all got a whole nother thing coming to you, okay? Y'all can find somebody else to sit in that chair for 24 hours.
I feel you. I totally understand.
What days is everyone closed today or on Monday then?
No, it takes a minute for these holidays to like catch on, in your
Monday
workspace.
Would be the day off. Okay. Yeah.
There's no day off this year.
Yeah.
But next year, they're going to put
official,
out, it takes a minute. It takes a minute.
That's right. I was reading about that because I was trying to understand why so many people got Friday off today. We're actually recording this on a Friday, and it was just passed yesterday. So I was wondering why is so many people all of a sudden saying, oops, I'm off tomorrow. And then I was reading that because it is not fully regulated through every state yet, but it's beginning to, they're starting to sort of categorize it and know how to welcome it in. So certain people did get it officially off today. Wow, and some people, I guess, did not. I don't know how the terms work.
Yeah. No, Black people are either going to take Friday or Monday off. We have decided collectively as a people, we are not waiting. We're going to take this day off, okay? And we're going to barbecue.
You waited since, yeah.
I mean, but you're technically here with me and helping me, so I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. You didn't have to do all that. You could be over there, hanging out, doing your thing, but thank you for being here. And thank you for being an advocate for a big world of people out there who have been wanting Juneteenth to become a federal holiday, because I'm not Black or African or African American for any matter, but I am someone of color who respects what the Black community is paving for my people, if that makes sense. For sure. You know what I mean? So I'm just so appreciative.
Yeah. And with everything said, like, I'm super excited about this holiday, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, so like, what's next? Like, when are we going to get the equity? When are we going to start feeling the change that we have been asking for? So yes, this holiday is a really big deal, and it definitely puts a dent in the fight. But at the same time, I need something else, something more tangible.
Like what?
Equity. I need for, the redistribution of funds to schools in predominantly Black neighborhoods where we were forced to live because we couldn't get mortgages in white neighborhoods where the nicer schools are, who get the same federal funding, even though they have much more resources. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for financial literacy for Black, Latin, and minority teenagers before they set off to college and fuck their credits up at the age of 19 before they even know what the FICO is. I want those things to happen. You know what I mean? I want the years of Black kids not getting into colleges because their SAT scores weren't hype enough because they didn't get the proper, education to help them. I need for those kids from those families that are growing up and getting into college now to be paid back for the mistakes that we showed their fathers and grandfathers. So yeah, Juneteenth is the bomb, and it is definitely a win, and I'm going to take it. But a bitch needs some more.
Exactly. And I love that you said that, because I had such a strong, valid question that I wanted to ask you in regards to Juneteenth, because when we dated back and we go and we look at history, I'm sad to say that I don't think we are too far off from where we used to be. And I'm going to read this word for word because I don't want to step on the wrong toes or say the wrong wording and mess everything up and, all that stuff. So this is about the origin of Juneteenth, which a lot of people who are not aware of a larger world out there may not know what Juneteenth is. Okay, so Juneteenth commemorates June 19th, 1865, when Union Major General Gordon Granger announced the end of slavery in accordance with President Abraham Lincoln's 1863 Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, now here's where things get a little funny for me. I believe Texas was the final state, and this is where it was announced. It was in Texas, and it was the final state to end slavery. General Granger went to Texas and read to the people of Texas what they called General Order Number 3. which says the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. Now, if you really like decode that, now, Emancipation Proclamation is the executive order that they've received. All slaves are free, but in the same exact sentence, it's being said that you're not free. You're now you're the employee of your master. Because when a slave is freed, what the hell did that slave have to go to? Did he have a home? Did he have money?
No.
Did he have anything? So was he freed?
No.
Is that different? Is it different than where we are right now and today? Because it is still a level of controlling. It is saying you are still going to be the lower of what human is.
Well, let's, first of all, I never want people to ever say, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I'm so sorry that I didn't know this or da-da-da-da. Keep in mind, Black people are still learning some Black people are still learning what Juneteenth is. I have a lot of Black friends who have the idea of Juneteenth, but they don't really know it. So if you think that you can't talk about it because you don't know it, it's fine. No one's going to be mad at you. Like, this is all new to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But the easiest way for me to explain that to people, because a lot of times people don't understand the wording, it's almost if you had held someone captive for 2 years in a basement and then all of a sudden said, hey, you can go free. You don't have to act like a captive anymore. That person who gets out of that basement is still going to have PTSD from what's going on. And no matter how many times their family says, we're going to treat you normal, they're still going to treat them like they were stuck in a basement for 2 years. So we've had generations and generations and generations trying to undo all of this history and trauma and all of this inequality. And it's been really tough. But the one thing I will say about now is that no one's afraid to speak up about it. Back in the cut, we were scared to say how we really felt. We were afraid that people were going to come, burn crosses in our homes, and do all of these things. But I feel like right now, people are not afraid to say what they need and what they want and what they expect, not only of government, but of society and of other human beings.
But do you believe that people are still coming forward and not being afraid and are pulling their phones out and recording things, and yet still it somehow falls on deaf ears? Because we still see a lot of people getting away with doing wrong things that are caught on camera, so to speak, when it involves race. And those people go free and get off. So sometimes there's a level of frustration. It's a level of, what the fuck do I do now? And then people give up. They surrender to what it is, and then they retaliate. And that's when things get dangerous.
Yeah, that's when it becomes dangerous. But at the same time, thank God I hate phones. I fucking hate phones. Excuse my language. When I see people at a dinner table doing this, or when I catch myself checking IG or scrolling, I remember the good old days whenever I had a flip phone, a Nokia, and a bitch only had you had Snake. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, Snake. And then you had to press that R 4 times to get to the S to send a text message. I'm so glad I grew up in the age of, if I didn't want to be found, there was no way to find me. But with that being said, I'm so grateful for Steve Jobs and Apple and what they've done with this iPhone, because it's turned everybody into the accountability police. So yeah, maybe 1 or 2 people might get off. Maybe
it's good and it's bad.
Yeah, maybe we might have some people getting off, but guess what? We'll never forget. And the next time that you walk out of your home free and living and breathing, people will remember that you were the guy who watched George Floyd die and didn't do anything to stop it. So maybe our court system is slow to catch on, but we as a society, we're not letting people off the hook that easy. And we won't stop recording and we won't stop marching.
I actually saw a video that went viral last week I think it was on Michael Rappaport's Instagram, and it was some young teenage kids, black kids, being harassed by some police officers because they were smoking a vape pen, and I guess it just turned really messy how they were treating them. The kid was handcuffed, and the cop is being seen kneeing him in the face while 3 cops are holding him down, and every hair, and I have a lot of hair on my body, I'm Persian, every hair on my body. Every hair on my body stood up when I saw every single black person and a couple white people come in on the cops to protect those kids. I love that I'm seeing that happening. I love that I'm seeing the support. I'm loving the loyalty, the love, and finally people are starting to realize it's okay to treat each other equally because we're just a different tone. We're not different people.
For sure. And I bet you every hair stood on the back of your neck because you have a son now. You're not a single person running around and living life. Like you're thinking about, this could be my child one day mouthing off to the police. But, the best thing about living in America is I love a fucking citizen's arrest. So if the police are acting a fool, it's my right to say you're acting a fool and let's protect and serve from you. I think a lot of times we were told to fear the police. When you walk past a police officer, you put your head down and you don't say anything. Or if you're driving at night and you have tinted windows, roll your windows down. Like those are the things that I learned growing up. And now we have to retrain ourselves. We have to retrain ourselves to not be fearful of every police officer while staying aware of what could potentially happen to you. You know what I mean? Like, I always have to be aware. I drive white cars so I don't get pulled over. That's how the guy at the dealership was like, "You sure you want that all black one with the black rims?" And then I'm like, "You're a black guy." And it didn't dawn on me what he meant.
He said that?
I went to get a car. And a black salesman was helping me. It was one of my first years in Los Angeles.
It was a black salesman.
It was a black salesman. And I was privy to Rodney King and, these things that we saw on the news. But I wasn't privy to the everyday ins and outs. I grew up in a small town where you kind of knew everybody and, you were still afraid of the police, but it wasn't like it is here.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back,
I got angry not angry. I was a little disappointed that the white gays didn't step up and step out because I remember when y'all wanted to get a poodle with your boyfriend Marshall and adopt a baby and get married for Prop 8, a bitch was there marching and she was here and she was, cheering. And a lot of black women were there marching with you guys as well. I went to buy this car and it was like murdered out. It was black. I was like, yes, finally getting the car of my dreams. And the salesman took me aside and he was like, I would really love to sell you that car because it's $4,000 over, the price of the other one that you were looking at. But if I were you, I would steer clear of that car because it's going to make you a target. And I was like, what? And then he talked to me as if he was my uncle. And it made total sense. And I was like, give me the white one with the tan seats. Yeah. The one that makes me look like a white lady. But that's the kind of shit that we have to tell one another. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I typically stay away from red cars too. Red cars as a target too. But yes, I could see him doing that and protecting you. And that's, So that, but that's, it's sad. It's sad that you had to not get your dream car. But
it happens. Or me, I was with a white friend one time. We went to a sporting event and this black guy was in an argument with one of the security officers at the venue. And we passed by the guy and I just stopped at the guy and I was like, look, there's more security guys coming. If I were you, I would just pipe you down a little bit, just enjoying the game. And when I went back to my friend, he goes, oh my God, did you know that guy? And I said, no. And he goes, well, why would you stop and talk to him? I was like, because he's black and he probably has no idea that shit's about to get real. Like, I feel like if I see it, I should say something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the neighborhood watch. That's how we are as a community.
Right. It is a very, very amazing culture. I mean, I grew up for, I think, the 15 years of my life lying and telling people I had a quarter black in me because all of my friends were black, and I don't know why. I just loved the culture so much. So I used to lie, and you know, that was obviously, I was going through identity issues trying to find myself, but it was nothing that I was ashamed of. Like, when I see people like not ever having a black friend in their life, I just don't, I don't know. But just
how does that work? But how does that work because I've seen and I've heard that in the Persian community, and I could be wrong, but in the Persian community, if you date a black guy, it's like a no-no.
100%. And the difference in that recipe is my parents raised me, my sisters, so differently. We were not raised in the Persian communities. I went to different schools around LA. I didn't grow up in Beverly Hills. I was in Palos Verdes or Playa del Rey. I was able to become Christian, a born again Christian at an age. I went to Jewish daycares, preschool. We celebrate every holiday in my household because my parents just allowed us to appreciate anything that had positivity attached to it. It didn't matter to them. Yeah. So I was not really introduced largely to the Persian community until, like, I think, wow, maybe I was like 27, 28 years old. You know, I mean, wow. Yeah. So, I mean, Persians are a little cliquey. They're a little bougie. Not a little. They're very bougie. Persians are very bougie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I've been to the parties. I didn't realize that like a Persian party is basically like a fucking Hunger Games. Like, I want to show you how much better my friends are than your friends. And it's like this whole, like, it's a pissing match. And I could not believe my eyes when I went to my first Persian party. It was crazy. It's always a white party, which I always respect.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what it is. It's just Persians are so over the top. They're so, you know, just, they're extra. They're so extra. Like, really, that's the only word to put on them is extra. But, you know, God bless being Persian.
I love it.
I love it. Other than the hairy part, which is okay. We have laser clinics these days, you know.
I think they're coming. They're good. They're coming along, the Persians. I mean, because I'm from the outside too. I'm from Ohio, born and raised. So when I came to LA and seeing everything, I mean, my prom date, black guy, Marlon Sims. I don't know if he's still around. Marlon, hello. Like, so for us, we were raised. I was very, very similar to Golnesa, and so yes, it's just. Like,
I didn't meet another full Persian person until I moved to Los Angeles. Like, there were people that were Lebanese in my area, but never a Lebanese Persian, any kind of community. And to like
so in Louisiana, like, what was it like? Was it just
the black people lived
like black, white, and
no, it was black people lived on this side, white people lived on this side of the track. You never really mixed. There was a black school.
And there
were no Persians. There was like, you know, all white school. There were a few Lebanese people like sprinkled here and there, but never like because to come to Los Angeles and to honestly witness and be a part of a Persian community, like to see like, you know, a lot of people not only feel comfortable, but own a city. Like, you guys own a city.
Right. Oh yeah, we run LA.
The Persians run LA, and
Evangelist, yeah.
And yes, and everybody knows everybody, and there's a guy for everything. And as much competition as it is between everyone, I feel like you keep the money in the Persian community, though. Like, you know what I mean? They'll send you to their cousin.
I think with Persians, what happened is culturally, if you, very similar to, I think, Asian culture, Indian culture, that if you don't become a engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, you are worthless to your family.
Yes.
So I think that generational situation sort of ended with my generation, where there was people lashing out like, fuck you, I'm going to be in real estate. I don't need school. And now they're becoming millionaires from real estate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The Persian community run real estate now. So I think it was always a cultural thing to just, you have to be the best or you're not anything at all.
You see, that's interesting because you guys at least had, doctors, lawyers, some type of vocational, thing. In the Black community. If you didn't play a sport, you know, you were fucked. Like, what else are you going to do? If you can't dribble a basketball or you can't do this, like, how else are you going to go to college? That was the only only three things that you could do in order to get out the hood. You guys got the option to go to not only college, but go to grad school and, spend an extra 4 years and an extra $400,000 on a certificate.
Well, I want to ask you about that, Justin, because you are from Louisiana, and I think that a lot of people, including myself, have a perception of what it is like being Black in the South. I don't have a pretty picture in my mind, so I would like if you could tell me what it was like in Louisiana, the difference that you felt from there to here as being a Black gay man.
Oh, girl.
Because honey, it is also still Pride Month, and we can't forget Juneteenth. So if we could just mix the two together, baby,
yes. No, let's just put it all together. Growing up in South Louisiana as a gay Black man was really tough because I also went to a predominantly white school. So when I was in the Black community, I wasn't Black enough because of how I spoke and where I went to school. And I wasn't masculine. I was gay.
When you say how you spoke, that means you spoke properly.
I spoke properly. I spoke like white people is how they would say
it.
Oh,
right. No. And people used to tell me I talk Black because I was speaking with slang. So I get the racial.
Yeah. No, it's
I get
a big
it.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you went to the white school, people's parents didn't really want you over their houses because you were Black and gay. Like, you were the gay kid. Like, no one's parents wanted me at their house. And they didn't make any type of they didn't make any qualms about it. They didn't hide it. They didn't say, we have too many people. Like, they straight up told me. I remember going to my best friend's house. I was 12 years old and we were driving up to the house and his mom turned around and said, "Hey, do you mind waiting until the garage door closes because my mother lives across the street?"
And doesn't want to see you getting out of the car from across the street because you're Black?
And
are you kidding me right now?
But the way she said it, by the way, at 12 years old, I didn't even think anything of it. It
didn't
pop into my head. No, because it was my life. That's where I grew up. I understand. You know what I mean? Where I grew up, there was a railroad track, and the railroad track divided the Black side and the white side. So that's how I was born. So it was just very interesting. Now looking back on it and being, 33 years old, it didn't faze me because I knew it didn't have anything to do with me. I also knew that there was a level of ignorance that people have that if you don't know better, you can't do better. And if my friend's mom was raised that way, the only way she could do better in her life is by letting me come there. She didn't have the nuts, the balls, or the knowledge, or the words to stand up to her mother and say, I know you guys are old school, but our family is going to embrace a different way of life. You either love it or you leave it. She didn't have those words. And, it was really interesting. And I got that a lot. I really did. And I will say, knowing that I wasn't ever going to be seen as an equal in that town really gave me the strength to get the fuck out. I would have stayed there if I would have been fine.
How old do you think you were around when you got that knowledge of what it's like in the real world?
I came to Los Angeles first of all, I saw the hills. Once you see the hills, you're kind of like, oh my God, all they do is party and go to lunch in Los Angeles. I really want to see that. I want to go there. And the first time I ever came to Los Angeles, I was 17 years old. And all my friends were going to Ladue. I pretended like I was not feeling well. And I got in a cab and I told the guy to take me where all the gay guys go.
How old were you when you came out? When did you come out?
I was like a silent fart. I kind of seeped out.
Okay. Okay.
I was
Okay.
seeping out.
Okay. I'm trying to paint the whole picture, Justin. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
kind of seeped out. So I came here at 17. I wasn't out. I went to a gay club. I saw the hottest man I'd ever seen in my life. His name is Ryan Floyd. He's still around. And I just thought, oh my God, the dudes like look like this here. They're holding hands. They're getting pizza on the corner. They're eating ice cream. They're doing coke in public. Like all of it was like, all of it was like killing me. I couldn't believe like what was happening. So when I went home at 17, I kind of had that idea in my mind, but I knew I had to go to college. I was like, there's no way I could just move here. So I would visit 2 or 3 times a year, come back, see people that I had met or that I knew. And I moved here for a year in college, had a great time. And when I went back my junior year, I kind of went back with a boa on. Like, I just was like, fuck it. I've made out with the man. I love it. Yes, I am skinny and I'm fucking free and I'm leaving as soon as I get out of college. And
so what is
that's what it
college
was.
life in Louisiana as a gay Black man? What is it like? Do people mess with you? Is it a bad thing? Do people beat you up? And do people love you for it? How does it work in Louisiana?
Now?
University.
Now?
For you.
Oh, I was protected. I knew all the bougie ladies. I worked at the hottest restaurant in Louisiana since I was 14 until I was 22. So I worked the front door basically at motherfucking Katana. Remember when Katana was the bomb? I was the maitre d' at this place called Tsunami in Lafayette. And if you wanted a table and if you wanted to get a hookup, you had to come through me, basically.
Oh.
So I ran downtown.
See.
Yes. It's like, everybody has that one gay guy that everyone loves in the town. So nobody can really fuck with him. That was me. I was the gay dude. I learned how to manipulate. I learned how to go to the weddings and tell the brides they were the shit. Like I did all the right things to survive. If that makes sense.
Would you say that when the Black Lives Matter movement began and went in deeper and deeper, would you feel that you were still that everybody's favorite gay guy? Did you feel a difference in your groups? Because I know a lot of people, and I kept reading a lot about it in the gay community, that a lot of gay colored people were very upset that their gay white friends were not stepping up for them, because gay people are still considered a minority, just as colored people were minorities. Yeah. So to not have them step up, I saw a lot of tension there. So did anything change for you from being everybody's favorite, gay Black guy friend?
Yeah, for me, I got angry not angry. I was a little disappointed that the white gays didn't step up and step out, because I remember when y'all wanted to get a poodle with your boyfriend Marshall and adopt a baby and get married for Prop 8, a bitch was there marching and she was here and she was, cheering, and a lot of Black women were there marching with you guys as well.
I was marching for equal rights and marriage and all that stuff. Yes, I'll still do it.
There was a lot of people, especially Black people. Marsha P. Johnson is the mother of gay pride. She is the reason why we have celebrations, why we have Pride Month. She was a Black trans woman. And you couldn't walk up and down Santa Monica Boulevard with your rainbow flag on if that woman wouldn't have put her life on the line, stood in front of cops, and really championed what you were. A lot of times people forget that. So when it wasn't about the white gays, and I get it. I get it. At first, no one wants to alienate anyone. No one wants to lose a sponsor. No one wants to be put on the spot at their mother's house. And I think a lot of it had to do with that fight was so long ago that the white gays forgot what it felt like to be discriminated against. The white gays forgot what it felt like to not have all of your rights. So they just needed a reminder. And I always tell people, you can't be mad at people for not getting involved. You have to just tell people, and you have to tell yourself that everyone has a different comfort level. You know, you might have a different comfort level than me. I can't get mad at you, but I will if I can remember it when it's your turn and when you have a problem that you need help with and you need an ally. I will fucking remember it. But I'm not going to be mad at you because you didn't turn up when I needed you to. Because you know what? Maybe Back That Ass Up isn't your song. Maybe you might get turned up when Hot in Here comes on. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
you just have to remember that like people are human and just because you're going through it doesn't mean that they're not going through something else. Like I remember the fear of being outed.
Yeah, but you just said the operative two words right there. People are human. That's the thing. All people are human, and it's not being conducted as being human. I mean, you're saying that you gave a little bit of a reminder to maybe some of your white gay friends about what was going on. I get the reminder every single time I step foot in an airport. You know, people don't realize being a Middle Eastern Muslim is the most hated around the world, not just in America, but the world. I cannot go into an airport without being taken to the side because I have a name that just will forever do that to me. So I don't ever need the reminder of people not being there for me because as a human being, like you said, we all are, I will be there for that person's cause if they do need it. Because maybe in that moment, they'll feel enough like shit to realize, wow, other people are being here for me. Just like with this, Black Lives Matter, when it was more special seeing white people joining in that march for me than not the ones that were doing it for the Instagram clout pictures, the ones that were just trying to say they care, not those, the real ones.
But by the way, I had this conversation with a friend. If you went to the Black Lives Matters march and you had 400,000 people on that Instagram and you went in there and you held a sign and you had a cute little matching 2-piece outfit from Shein that you needed to tag on there and you said Black Lives Matters, I don't give a fuck because out of the 400,000 people that you have on your Instagram account, maybe 250,000 of them didn't know what you were doing. But all they saw was that Black Lives Matters. I don't care what you do. We all give to charity to make ourselves feel better. We give to charity to get the discount on your taxes, to get that little bit of a return. Like we do nice things for reasons, and I don't care. No matter if and that was a big issue between me and my Black friends is that I always said like. I know Black people who didn't get out of their houses to go march for Black Lives Matters. Does that make them less of a Black person? No. Maybe they did their, humanitarian work on Instagram. Maybe they were preaching to their coworkers. Everyone who opened their mouth or posted something did something. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't give a shit if Kim Kardashian donates $200 million to a charity because she is in hot water. I just care that we got $200 million. You know what I mean? Like everyone's like, but is it genuine? I'm like, is the money green? Did the check clear? I'm good.
Did it clear? That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Like I don't give a shit. And for us, we have to remember, yes, you are a Middle Eastern woman and going through an airport is fucking tough. But guess what? As a Black man, bitch, I know where you're coming from because as a Black man walking down the street or driving late at night or being down a lonely road when a cop pulls you over, there's the same fear. When you're talking about white people, they don't have that type of PTSD that you and I have or that Jewish people have, where they can tap into that and say, I know how this feels. I've been down that road before. Let me go ahead and let me do something. And, I said this with the Me Too movement. Everybody was like, I can't believe these other women aren't standing up for women right now. And I said, you never know what's going on in other people's homes, but also sometimes no one knows what to say or what to do in a tight situation. You know what I mean? Like it's just a hard thing. Especially when you're talking about activism.
Yeah. It's hard. I'm also just, torn between the two sides. I've brought a number of guests on the podcast that have told me to just, if I want to be successful in my business life, I have to never voice my opinion politically or religiously or whatever culturally through my Instagram. And then, I would love to be rich and remain rich and be just extravagant with money. But then I also have this side of me that just cannot sleep at night without saying something about something or doing something about something. I can't, I feel ingenuine, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like you said, is the money green though? Can I feel ingenuine and be rich? Why not?
I think there is a line, and there is something that you can really skirt on. There's like a thin line that you can skate on, And I tell everybody, with the whole Equinox thing, it was a huge ordeal that everybody wanted to boycott Equinox because somebody gave money to Trump's campaign and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, that's great for you. But if you follow the paper trail back to your check, if I do the 6 degrees of separation in my company, I'm sure somebody high up there who signs that check is going to be a Republican. I dated somebody who is a Republican. Do I think he's a bad man? I don't think he's a bad man at all. Do I think that he doesn't think about other people at times? Yes, but I'm also not going to cut those people out of my life because they want to stay quiet to save their money. That's between you and God. You're going to have to talk to St. Peter when you get up to that gate, and y'all going to have to talk about Black Lives Matters, not me. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't doing shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's interesting that you brought up the political side, even though this whole entire conversation is a political thing. A lot of people don't know that Juneteenth being passed as a federal law was Donald Trump's beginning, and Biden was the one who signed it into order. So to me, I don't care if someone's Republican or Democrat. I just care what their specific views are on life, on humanity, on our economy, and it being safe and us thriving, not the other way around. So, I don't know. I don't want to go into a whole political thing because then it's going to go way off the roster, and then it's just going to be like,
Yeah.
Justin, I love you. I love you for being here. Thank you for being here on the first pre-day Juneteenth holiday with me.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back.
So women fuck up in the sense that they schedule a dinner date. And for me, as a gay man, I don't want to eat in front of anybody I don't really like. But also, I don't want to spend that much time with somebody.
Okay, I'm alive. I'm here. But no, thank you so much for being here and talking about this. And we appreciate all your insights. And okay, so we have this game. It's called "Forgive Me, I Have Sinned." And
this is where I light my joint up. Let me light up the joint 1 second, and you.
You haven't lit up at all this whole time. What's going on with you? She
there
usually
we go.
smokes like. See, when I'm there, she keeps smoking so that I get the second hand.
Ursula will hit it for you. Don't she? Ursula's has the bong in her hands.
Ursula is yes. Okay, so this is your first question. Have you ever lied to get out of a bad date?
Oh, all the time. Once a month.
What?
Once a month. Are you crazy?
Once a month? Okay, wait. What is your
often.
worst lie then? I need to know. What is your absolute worst lie that you were like,
I always use
fucked
the same
up.
one. Something came up with work. It's J-Lo. I can't pass it up. It's always like a big celebrity. It's always like, and it's a diva that no one's going to question me. Like, it's like, oh, I'm seeing Celine Dion tonight. I'm interviewing her. Like, no one's going to be like, no,
Oh my God. Maybe next time if you say I'm going to go see GG, no one will believe you because no one knows who I am.
According to Kelly Dodd.
Let's say you're sitting down at the table. Oh. What did you ever have to do it like before the date?
Oh, so you
like,
see
did
when
you
I'm
have
on
like,
the date.
Like you're in the date.
Get on your phone.
Like you're there.
So
Yes.
this is where
Sorry.
girls make the worst mistakes.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you where women make the worst mistakes.
Tell us.
So women fuck up in the sense that they schedule a dinner date. And for me, as a gay man, I don't want to eat in front of anybody I don't really like. But also, I don't want to spend that much time with somebody. So I always, and this is a rule of thumb, I always schedule a drink situation, and I pretend like I have a dinner with a friend right after that's already been scheduled.
So you need to bounce.
You don't give them too much, and then you cut them off at an hour so they want some more. It also sets you up not to give away the nookie on the first few dates.
Oh, I love you. I mentally wrote that down because, I'm trying the polyamory thing right now. So I need to learn new. Thank you. Even though I'm going to be honest with them and just be like, I'd rather go to the other guy right now. I'm sorry. I'm going to take you up on the Celine Dion thing.
Everyone thinks you're busy. If it's a
next
dinner date, like, oh no, I have a work thing, but I can meet you for an hour. And then you have to set your alarm. And when the alarm goes off, you literally just say, oh my God, I gotta go. And you have to talk yourself to not staying because a bitch will do that. But you gotta be like, nope, gotta go. Miss me. Thank you.
That's it. That's really good. Okay. Okay.
What's my next one?
Take notes, GG. Take notes. Okay. Your next one is, okay. So you were the lady sitter for Kyle Richards. Did you ever let her kids get away with something really bad and not tell the parents?
Oh,
wanting it to, so now you get
Oh,
give us some juicy treats. Okay, so what happens? What did the kids do that you're not?
Were you the cool lady sitter, babysitter, or were you like the shady? I'm gonna snitch on you, lady sitter, babysitter.
I was a cool lady sitter. So
you gotta straighten that microphone, Justin. Speak
no,
straight
like
into it.
I'm gonna straighten this microphone up. One of the first things I ever did with the kids, because Kyle is very, very hands-on with her kids, and she doesn't let anybody do anything with them when they were younger. Like she would leave a scene to go pick up Portia, to bring her home, to go back to the scene. Like she didn't play with her kids. Wow. So she let me take Alexia, who was 13 at the time, to a Lady Gaga concert. And she was like, I'm going to buy the tickets because I want her to be safe. And I want you guys to like sit in a space where like my daughter could be safe. And she bought us these great ass tickets. They were fucking bomb. But I'm like, no, bitch. I'm like, no, bitch. If you're going to go to a Lady Gaga concert, you're going to go to a Lady Gaga concert. We're going in the pit. You're going to be with general population. We're going to dance. We're going to jam. We're going to get in a fight because people are going to be crazy. So I bought four other tickets that were general population. And when we got to the stadium, I was like, we're going to sell these. We're going to buy all the merch we want. And then we're going to go with general pop, but don't ever tell your mom. So Kyle thinks we sat at Lady Gaga with these two 13-year-olds like in a box. And meanwhile, we were in the middle of the show.
The mosh pit.
That is a brilliant, brilliant story. I did not think it would be that juicy. I thought you were going to be like, I gave the kid extra ice cream one day. No. But that was a good one right there. No. Justin, I love you so much for doing this. Honestly, it means a lot to me because I look up to you so much. So it's just so cool to be on the other side. I love you.
I love you too. And you know what?
And honey, when are you having me come to Daily Pop to ask me about what's going on between me and Miss Kelly Dodd?
Bitch, next week. Hold on.
Bitch.
Next week. Hold on. Let me get on. Let me get on that right now.
Like it needs to be like today. Yeah. Like,
let me get on that right now.
Yeah.
I love Justin.
I know. He's really sweet.
I know, right? Funny. I'm so glad you got to meet him. He is. He's everything. He's like the full package.
Yeah.
Do you think it was like, I don't know. I feel like we wanted to talk about Juneteenth and we wanted to still kind of incorporate pride in it. I felt like Justin was such a perfect guest and he brought so much information forward.
He sure did. No, he was really great. And just the fact that like he grew up in the South in Louisiana, and then he, as a gay guy. So that's even that right there. And then he, came here and coming out and doing it in a silent way, and just everything about him, and just where he got himself, and being raised in Louisiana as a Black guy is really tough as it is. And then, just to have to hide being gay the whole time. And then now look at him, educated, like doing all these, like, so successful, and
he definitely is. I mean, he has quite a few many interesting stories, and he's just so funny and colorful when he tells the stories. It's just fun to listen, and just his connections, back home, and why he's like the man back home is because, you had to go through him if you wanted to go sit in the restaurant. And that's a big deal. He's from a small town. It's like they only have a few options. So he must have been like the man, like legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just interesting when you try to tap into each guest's world. Each time we have like this short period of time to just try to tap into what their lives are like. But it's always really fun, I think, to get to know people. And Justin really is one of my favorite people. I mean, I literally asked him to be the sperm donor. I mean, can you imagine the features, everything? He's tall, he's educated, he's
Wait,
charming.
So you, I'm to go a couple steps back. So you asked him?
Yeah. I think when I originally started even talking about the fact that I wanted to get a sperm donor, and I think when everyone was making fun of me thinking it was a joke or something, he had me on Daily Pop, and we spoke, and I told him, I was like, I'm serious, and I was like, I would definitely use someone like you as my sperm donor. You're gorgeous, you're every check on the list. Yeah. And he was like, okay. So I started calling him baby daddy since then. So it's like 2 years now I'm calling Justin baby daddy.
Okay.
So it's cute. He's just a sweetheart. I love him, and I hope we can
you guys have like so you guys go way back then. You guys have like a pretty solid friendship. And
yeah, I mean, I just feel like after he said that he was everybody's favorite, it's so true, because I feel like he makes everyone feel so personable in that aspect, and he does that to everyone. So it's just like he's just so easily loved. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I have a friendship with him, or that's just how he is with, he's just a kind man. I don't know. I feel like we have a friendship. I mean, I asked him to give me his jizz, for Christ's sake.
My God, that would have been, oh my God, you and him. I'm trying to picture, we have to do that thing. I think you can take a person's face and your face, and you can make what your kids and stuff would look like. We should try that.
We got to do a mashup. But let's use one of my really good photoshopped pictures where I've had all my plastic surgery done. So it's based off of that face, not the previous face that I had. Oh my God. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Genuinely GG. I'm having so much fun doing this with Anita. We're really having a blast. I mean, look, she's out in a whole other state and the other side of the continent, just chiming in, doing this because she loves it. So if you love us, if you don't love us, write that review, give us the rating, and please subscribe. Please.
Subscribe, please.
Love you.
Thanks for listening to Genuinely GG. Download new episodes every week. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And be sure to leave us a rating and review. And while you're at it, check out some of the other great shows available on Straw Hut Media.